ESPN Home Video presents Fundamental Youth Coaching Techniques, a four-part sports education series designed to help parents and coaches teach kids the basics. Featuring the University of Arizona's Jerry Kindle on baseball, coach of the 1986 College World Series champions. The legendary John Wooden on basketball. Football with Bo Schembechler, head coach at the University of Michigan. And this program, teaching kids soccer with Bob Gansler, former head coach of the U.S. Youth World Cup team. Simply put, Bob Gansler is a soccer authority. He's been involved in the game for over 30 years as an amateur and professional player, as captain of the 64 and 68 U.S. Olympic teams, and as a coach for high school, collegiate, Olympic, Pan American, and World Cup teams. From 1979 to 82, he was national youth coach for the U.S. Soccer Federation. Currently the head coach at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and one of the leading experts in the game, Bob Gansler now shares with you his extensive experience in teaching kids soccer.
As a father of four, I have faced the question a number of times whether I want my youngsters to be involved in sports, and then which sports. I want them to engage in any activity that is fun to them, and all sports are. Certainly I feel soccer has some very important attributes, but my youngsters are engaged in other activities as well. What I like about soccer, and what you might want to consider, is the fact that it is rather inexpensive. It is a sport that is probably injury-freer than many others, many other more contact-orientated sports, but mainly it enhances the coordination of the youngster. And it helps to develop the cardiovascular system. And consequently, well, I believe that every youngster should give it a try. And the way that you approach any sport is to learn the techniques. What we're trying to do today is just to show some of the skills that are important in order to play the game. Every game is a game of techniques. And in order to play it well, in order to have fun at it, I think you want to be able to control the ball, you want to be able to pass the ball, you want to be able to shoot the ball correctly. And then it will be a very enjoyable experience for your youngster and mine. We have a unique situation in America as far as soccer is concerned, because we do not have a soccer environment, a soccer tradition. Consequently, we must start the youngsters in a formal education of the game a little earlier. But that's only one way in which you can learn. You can also learn by watching, but mainly the youngster should learn by doing. This is where the parent comes in, the parent coach comes in. You must create sort of an environment in which the youngster can touch that ball and shoot that ball and head that ball, because that's really the fun part. If a youngster does join a team at 6, and many of them do, the coach must have the inclination and also the ability to create that backyard atmosphere, one of fun, one of enjoyment, but one of learning at the same time. A parent, of course, can help immeasurably and have fun at it at the same time. The backyard game is a must in order for the youngster to develop the skills, because it's a pressure-free kind of a situation, and that's the best way you can learn.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Tutko, and I've been a sports psychologist that's worked with children over the last 20 years. And one of the things I've become firmly convinced on is that every child should get an opportunity to participate in sports. I say this because I think that the physical, social, and psychological aspects of child development are firmly tied to the sports experience. I think very often we fail to realize that this experience, particularly at the age of 6 to 12, play a vital role in how this child gets an opportunity to be able to see the competitive world in later life. One important interaction that the parents might become aware of is that their relationship with the coach. I think very often parents, because the child gets involved in this experience, may have a tendency to relive their own experiences through the child. Very often the child is seen as an extension of child-rearing practices. So the parent might unknowingly put a little more pressure on the coach, or give the coach more information, or try to bias the coach. The child will be very aware of this. And again, it's important to remember that the child is observing the coach and the parent relationship, and it needs to be a positive one. One thing you might keep in mind at this juncture is the open communication between the two of you. The sharing, going to the games, the talking after the games. All of these things are very critical in having not only an open communication, but having the child feel that they're reaching their maximum potential. Now, let me mention some do's and don'ts as a parent in the raising of your own child dealing with sports. What are some do's? I think it's important to be the support system, to be there particularly when things aren't going well, so you can put your arm around your child and say that, hey, there's always another game. Another thing that's important is the possibility of sharing on a verbal level. That is, how much fun did you have? What did you feel that you picked up in today's game? What are you learning about the sports? Another thing that's very important at this juncture is to make sure that if the child has some particular questions or needs, you might be able to explore it together. Go to a game and discuss the game. Maybe getting a chance to go to the library, talking to an athletic director, talking to another athlete, talking to a coach. All of these are ways that you can show your child that you're going to be supportive. What are some don'ts? An obvious don't is, I think, yelling or screaming or making demands upon your child is saying that the sport and what the child is doing is more important than the child's own personal feelings. I think it's very critical at this juncture that the parents try not to keep from setting higher limits than the child might actually be able to attain. Parents often put subtle pressures on. Why? Because if that child is doing well, the rest of the world will see that we're a great family. How might they do it? By asking for extra practice, by making extra demands, by pushing when the child obviously might be in pain. The child becomes aware of the fact that after a while, they're simply a pawn, and what might be taking place is that the parents' needs are creeping in here, not the child's needs. In any case, remember that sport is a family affair. You cannot have a child involved in sports without having the whole family involved, the time, the effort, the money, and really emotional investment. And I think support and maturity at this juncture is absolutely vital. Remember, this is an important juncture in your child's life. They're entering the really competitive world, and the sports world providing the opportunity for physical, social, and psychological development, and at the same time having play and fun is very, very critical. And you as a parent can make a major contribution to that development.
What we have here is a rather competent example of juggling. I prefer to call it ball lifting because it should not be an end in itself. It's not a matter of how long he can keep it up, but what Sasha is trying to do is he's trying to sensitize all parts of his body to manipulate that ball. So he starts it with feet, he works it up the thigh, and he's going to work it up to his head eventually, because soccer is a game that should be played downstairs. So when the ball comes at you, you should have the ability to bring it down, to make your pass, to make your shot, to go and dribble. This is a great confidence builder. The youngsters have to work with the ball repeatedly, and it also is a lot of fun. And it certainly is something that you can do at home, something that your coach can give you homework with if you like, or you just do in the backyard for the fun of it. A good soccer player is free of the ball. He doesn't have to worry about the ball, doesn't have to worry about the ball before he passes it or before he shoots it, because he knows exactly where it's going to be because he has this ball control. A basketball player does not look at the ball when he dribbles or when he passes. A soccer player simply also should not do that. Now, you have a very, very good example here of Sasha manipulating the ball up and down his body, sensitizing all surfaces of the body. But you're not going to start there. And what we would like to do with the youngsters is to show you how you can build up in order to get there. What makes most sense for the young player just starting the game is to take the ball in his hand and simply serve himself to his feet and then lift it up. He must be very aware of the stance. The stance in soccer is always a little bit like a Cro-Magnon man. You've got to play with knees bent, whether it's to pass the ball or whether it's to shoot the ball or even to head the ball. It's the same in ball lifting here. You must have your knees bent. The next important aspect is to have your ankles locked. Nothing in soccer can be done with a loose joint. So we lock the ankle, and the lift comes from the entire body. And we're doing it in a stationary manner with hand service. And this is what I want the youngsters to do as they are standing still. Just one with the right and one with the left. One with the right and one with the left. All right, it's looking good. Okay, and hold for a second. One of the common occurrences is the fact that spin is put on the ball. But the reason for ball lifting is, in a game situation, the ball is up there. Now you want to bring it down and take the spin off the ball. You don't want to put spin on the ball. And the reason the youngsters are doing that is their leg becomes straight and or their ankles are wobbly. So what they have to be aware of one more time, is that their knees are bent and that their ankles are locked, and now you bring the ball up with as little spin or no spin as possible. All right, give it a try. Yes, looking good. One with the right and one with the left. Huh? Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Okay, it's looking better, and what we want to do right now is to move forward now. Quite quickly, you have to be able to do these things with movement. Lift and lift and lift. All right, and play. Go. The next step in our progression then would be to do double hits. A couple of touches with the left, a couple with the right, a couple of crossover type of situations. And the reason we want to do that is because soccer is the only game that I can think of where you consistently play while you're standing on one foot. So there's something called soccer balance that you're enhancing here, that you need to enhance while you're doing the touches as well. So what I want the youngsters to do here is to do a couple of touches with one foot, a couple of touches with the other foot, and then a crossover kind of situation, right-left and left-right. Okay, do it in a stationary manner first. Yes, good. And hold. And because soccer is a moving game, you want to get away from the stationary quite quick. Now what I want you guys to do right now is just, while you're moving, you do these kind of touches. Yes, yes, and go. As we move our way up our body, we get to the thighs. And actually the thighs are the easiest. So perhaps this is where the youngster should start in order to garner a lot of confidence. So it's quite easy for us to do singles here. It's quite easy to do doubles. It's quite easy to do crossovers. And this is why I'm going to ask the youngsters to do it on the move right away. Initially, to gain the confidence, it's always a stationary situation. But quite quickly, you want to get onto the move. Okay, guys, with movement, one with the right thigh, one with the left thigh, two with the right, two with the left, and crossover. Yes, play. Yes. Well done. Because thigh control is not a final control, it makes a lot of sense to work it in conjunction with the feet, which are your primary control tools. So what I'm going to do here and ask the youngsters to do is to do a couple of feet, bring it up the thighs, bring it back down the feet, up the thighs, and move it up and down the body in this manner. Now this is rather difficult, so the youngsters are going to drop a ball, but not to worry, they're just going to keep trying until they get it down. All right, guys, give it a try. Right, left, couple of feet, couple of thighs. Good, David. Yes, I like it. Yes, I mean. The third surface with which we must be able to control the ball is the forehead, because the forehead is not only used to propel the ball out of the defensive zone or onto the goal in a scoring manner, but also when the ball goes up in the air, you want to escort it down. And so we want to also work on this as far as the control. What I want the youngsters to do is to take one touch, and then to take two touches, and then to take three touches, and build it up. All right, guys, go ahead. And do it with movement. You can do it. Yes, one touch, two touch, three touches, four. If you drop it, you start over. Good, David. Up until this point, we have done everything individually, one player and the ball. But you can also do things with your friend. So what Ellie and I are going to do is play what we call two-touch. Control the ball with any part of your body and play it off on the second touch. Ellie, you ready? Yes, and play. Yes, play. Control, play. Once you've gained a little more confidence and a little more expertise into your control game, you can not only do two-touch stationary, but you can also do it in a moving fashion. So Sasha and Jeff are going to do it now, moving laterally. Control, play, control, play. And take it back the other way. They're using all parts of their body in order to control the ball and also to knock it back. So thigh control, foot back, right? Foot control, foot back. Chest control, foot back. And now they're sliding into a frontal and backward moving type of situation. You must be able to control the ball as you're moving backward, the way Jeff is, and moving forward, the way Sasha is. And now they're going to reverse the order. Sasha goes backwards, Jeff forwards. Yes, very good demonstration. And play. Good. Well done, guys. Your imagination is going to lead you into all sorts of little control games. My two players in back of me right now are doing something that I call progressive juggling. One will take a touch, the other one will take a touch. Then it's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, progressive type of stuff. One player could yell at the other player, yell a number, and now he controls it in that many ways. As long as the ball is in play, you are sensitizing every part of your body, you are working on your balance and your ability to manipulate the ball the way that you want it so that you become free of the ball. Then it's going to help you become a more complete player, and a complete player must have the ability to control the ball. The first skill that a youngster really wants to get into is dribbling. It's a lot of fun, but it's just a natural inclination. A youngster does not want to pass the ball back to you if you give it to him or to her, because the fun is in possession of the ball. So what the youngsters in back of me are doing, are they manipulating the ball with the inside the foot, with the outside the foot, and the sole. Those are the 3 areas that we want to identify. Let's take a look. Okay, good, and hold. A couple of teaching points here, a couple of reminders for kids, for coaches, for parents. Here, the inside surface, we're talking about this surface. I think that's quite clear. The outside surface is here. We do it from the knee down, and we manipulate the ball here. With the sole, we roll the ball in this manner or in that manner. We can bring the ball backwards, or we can also bring the ball forwards. So those are the surfaces with which we manipulate the ball. What is very important in dribbling is balance. So once again, some of the youngsters are very erect. Soccer cannot be played in an erect manner. You must have your knees bent, and now you manipulate the ball, and you manipulate the ball. Also, there are some myths in dribbling in soccer. Like, you must be able to do everything equally with both feet. That's not true. The most efficient way, quite often, is a one-footed approach. So if I want to bring the ball to my right hand here, it is more efficient for me to take it with the inside and then push it back to the outside, then take it with the inside of my right, play it to the inside of my left, and then push it in the other direction. So as the youngsters go back to work, I want them to be cognizant of their balance, so they have to be down here, they have to be low, and I want them to play everything with the inside and then quickly with the outside of the same foot. All right, let's go and do it. Now what Jeff and Sasha are doing here, they're using their sole exclusively. Now the sole is the third important surface that you use in order to dribble the ball. They're moving laterally with the sole, they're moving forward with the sole. Sometimes they're doing 360s, that is to say a complete spin with the sole. And there's a very important part and a very deceptive part as far as dribbling is concerned. Go ahead. What we want our youngsters to do, along with our demonstration players here, is now to combine the three surfaces. Because dribbling is this change of direction and also this change of speed. So as they come in here, all 6 individuals here are going to use the inside of the foot, the outside of the foot, use the sole at all times, maintaining that balance. And if you're looking for economical forms of training, you have one here. By economical forms, we mean we're enhancing the technical aspects, but we're also enhancing the physical. The physical as far as balance is concerned, as far as agility is concerned. All right, everybody, play. Inside the foot, outside the foot, sole. Change of direction and change of speed. All right. What players must be aware of, though, are the basic cuts. So Sasha is going to show us what I call a 360 with the inside the foot. Yes, he touches quickly around himself, and he's going to come back doing the same thing. Touch, 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 touch. Right? You notice, before Jeffrey goes, you notice that there's a touch. There's 5, 6, 7 touches. I don't know how many, but the ball never died. One of the important things is that the ball does not stop rolling. Jeffrey's going to do a 360, but he's going to do it with the outside of his foot. Jeffrey, go. Right? So it's touch, 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 and away he goes. So it's slow, slow. Now it's quick, quick, and he comes out of the other way. Sasha now is going to do a 180, and he's going to do a 180 with the sole. He's going to pull it back. Yes, dribble, dribble, quickly. Yes, pull it back. It's slow, slow, quick. Right? Yes, well done, Sash. And Jeffrey's going to do the same one, but he's going to cut the ball back with the inside of the foot. Yes, play. Yes, and he cuts it back underneath him. Yes, well done. And go. Dribble, dribble, slow, and quickly, fast. Yes, there we go. Sasha is going to give us the 180 with the inside of the foot around the standing leg. Sasha, go. Right, it's slow, slow, and he cuts it back. Yes, coming toward me, and he cuts it back. Dribble, dribble. Yes, and he cuts it back. Well done, Sash. Good. And Jeffrey will do it with the outside of the foot. Yes, he dribbles, dribbles, he cuts it back. Yes, he dribbles, dribbles, cuts it back. Yes, and back. Well done, Jeffrey. The third cut is the most important one. It is what I call the 90-degree cut. Actually, it should be performed at less than 90 degrees. It is used in the soccer game more than any other. When you have the ball on one foot and you're trying to cut it to the other, what you should do is to cut it back toward yourself. You should not cut it in front of the opponent. You must screen the ball. And consequently, in order to accomplish that, it's got to be a less than 90-degree cut, and the ball is done, comes back to you. I want Sasha and Jeffrey to show us just that. Right, Sash, go. Yes, 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 and cut it. Well done, and cut it. Good, Jeffrey, your turn. Less than 90. Good, good, good. All right, and thank you. Those are the 3 basic cuts: 360, 180, and 90 degrees. They can be accomplished with various surfaces, obviously. The most important thing in dribbling is this change of direction, accompanied by a change of speed. But none of that will really work very well unless you are a balanced player. You must be well balanced. In order to balance, you need that Cro-Magnon stance again. And now you must go out and you must sell the move. Just like the skier on the slopes as he goes around the gates, so a soccer player must move this way and that way, sell that move, change the direction, burst of speed, and away he goes. Especially for, I think, the American youngster, who quite often does not want to possess the ball. I think it's very important that the youngsters get into what we call screening. When you receive the ball, you want to maintain possession. until you get the right numbers. You get enough help coming forward so that you can go forward. If you get caught with your back to defenders, you want to effectively manipulate the ball around so that you at least half face that individual. And what I'm talking about, as Jeff overplays me here, right, I want to turn, I want to spin, I want to maintain possession of the ball, and at all times, it's a matter of body, body, ball. So all those 180 cuts that we did before, we can use right now. We did it with the sole, we did it with the inside the foot. Here, we cut it with the outside the foot, and now we roll it. So at all times, it is this configuration right here, this configuration right here. You don't want to be this way because you're wider this way, and also this gives you much more vision than if you're positioned in that manner. And at all times, you manipulate the ball with your away foot. With your away foot, you don't want to get it caught in here because now he can very easily tackle the ball away. It is a complete screen here. You play over here, yes, you play there, good, good. You turn in this manner, a little bit of a spin turn, you hold the ball, boom, and this is what we want to do, right? From shielding the ball, quite quickly, we want to be able to turn upfield in order to play. And this is what Dan and David are going to show us right now. They're going to shield, they're going to then try to look upfield and see that small goal there and try to pass the ball through there. Go ahead, Dan, play. Good. And bring it back. And hold it a second, and hold it a second. Right? Now, our youngsters are doing okay, but there's some things that they could do better. Now, for example, Danny, when you were right here, David, you as a defender were there, and you are in this position. Quite quickly, you want to get in this position. Now, if David tries to steal the ball here, you've got a way of coming, perhaps in this manner, of coming the other way. If David tries to steal the ball on the other side, right, so then it's here, and it's through there. What you want to do is quite quickly to be able to face him. That is one very important point. Another one is, if you are in this manner, in this way, how do you make room for yourself? Okay, you knock the ball there, and now you're facing him. Now you can use one of your scintillating moves in order to take him out. All right, let's try it again. Yes, well done. Good, take it back out. Come. Good. And David is on. It's a continuous game, or 1 versus 1. Yes, well done. A logical progression from 1 versus 1 is 1 versus 2. We can also play it 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4. It's the soccer version of hustle. I am the playmaker, if you like. I'm going to knock the ball in here. Whoever receives it tries to maintain possession against the other two. If one of the two wins it, it's back to me, and then I will dish it out to one of the other individuals. Let's see how it works. Play. Yes, back to me. Good, and play. Yes, maintain possession. Yes, screen it. Into me, Peter. Yes, Ellie, it's yours. Oh, magic. Way to go. Yes. Good. You're my favorite player right now, Ellie. That was well done. And play. Yes, I mean. And to me, Peter. Certainly we could add some additional wrinkles here. If an individual has held the ball for a certain number of seconds, he could give it back to me, and then I in turn would have to give it back to him. But we can think of these various wrinkles on our own, and the kids will as well. But this is once again, a very economical way of dealing with soccer players, because they're working on their technique, they're making some decisions, and if you're checking their heart rate right now, it's way up. So we don't have to condition these little players, because they condition themselves when they're dealing with the ball. Just like ball lifting, dribbling should not be an art for its own sake. Dribbling should be to set up your next action. So right now, Amin in the blue shirt is going to try to overcome Danny here in the white shirt in order to make a pass. Once he's able to do that, to his teammate in the blue shirt there, Ellie will try to beat his adversary in order to make a shot on goal. So dribbling to pass, dribbling to shoot, not an end in itself. Amin, play. Yes. And now Ellie goes at David, attempts to beat him, get a shot on goal. If David wins it, he tries to find Danny there quickly. Yes, yes. Put on a move and finish. Yes, well done. And Amin, come out. Danny, challenge him. Find the ball. Yes. Dribble. Good. And well done. And come out on a dribble. Challenge him, Ellie. Yes. And as you can see, as the individual in the back is coming out and is knocking it to his friend up front, the inclination was to go support, and that's a good one. You should go and support and try to create numbers up. But I think a lot of our players need help in these one-on-one duels, and this is what we're trying to do here. So we don't want Ellie to go along to help Amin in the blue. We want Amin on his own to overcome his adversary in order to score goals. Go ahead. Yes. On the dribble. Yes. Another ball there, please. Yes, and go at him, David. Go at him. Yes, and well done. If dribbling is the number 1 inclination of young players, shooting is the second one. Now, there's a lot of bad versions that pass for shooting. A lot of people chip the ball at goal, they pass the ball at goal. But a straight-ahead power shot should look something like this. So as the ball is in front of me, what I do is I knock it, right? I knock it with the instep, and I try to land on my performing foot. And what that guarantees is that I transfer my 100 and whatever pounds through the ball. Yes, back again, Justin. Notice, once again, we're back into our Cro-Magnon stance. This is the way it has to be for a soccer player. We put the not in performing foot next to the ball, and the follow-through, yes, Justin, the follow-through is not only forward, but it's also up. It's also up. And that will give the ball a lot of power, but it also will keep the ball low. Now, initially, what we want all of us to do is just knock the ball back and forth and make sure that we land on our performing leg. All right, guys, go ahead, do it. Yes. And hit it. Good. Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Just hold for a second, right? Some of them have an inclination to hit the ball with the outside of the foot. And yes, for a shot with more deception, you take it with the outside of the foot so that you can bend the ball. But just for accuracy and for straight ahead power, you want to hit it with the entire laces, and you want a short swing from the knee, and you want to move through the ball by jumping through the ball. So as we do it again, we want to do it moving. Right? So Justin, hit it and follow through. Come. Yes. And hit it. Good. And now I will do it. Right? Yes, I will hit it, moving forward. Justin settles it for me, and boom. You will also note, in order to maintain my balance, as I'm up there like this, I bring my opposite hand across the body. Ball, please, Justin. So I knock it here, and I come across, and that maintains my balance. All right, ball, please, Justin. Boys did pretty well on this one. What we want to do now is also to teach the half volley, which is just a fancy name for a drop kick. So be ready to catch. You guys are paying attention. Here, I hit it on the short hop. Hit it back, Justin. I hit it on the short hop as it's coming up, and everything else is the same. As always, we sacrifice power for accuracy. Take pride in putting it right into your partner's hands. All right, everybody. Nice and easy. Yes. Good. Land on your performing foot. Land on your performing foot. Right. Yes. And away we go. Good. And the third method of shooting we want to work on is the full volley. You take the ball straight out of the air. Once again, you've got to have that balanced and stance with a low center of gravity. Your knees are bent, and we're going to try to hit the ball entirely with the laces, and we're going to land on our performing foot. Watch the action of the opposite hand as it goes across for balance. We sacrifice power for accuracy as we try to hit the ball right into our partner's hands. Well done, Dan. There we go. Right. And quite quickly, I think the two of us are ready in order to do it with moving. Danny, come. Yes, well done. Good, my turn. Back, yes. Throw it back, and yes. And you're on. Good, well done. Magic, and back, yes. Good, and there we go. What we try to do up to this point is to cement the techniques of striking a ball on the ground, half volleys, full volleys. Quite quickly, we must become functional. And yes, we've got some small goals that help us with what we intend to do, but the youngster can do it against his garage door, the back of the house, any wall that is available on the local playground and whatever. He can do it on his own, but if he's got a friend, we might as well use a give-and-go situation, as we will right now, and then we will attempt to bury the ball in the net with the proper technique. Go ahead, Ellie. Okay, land on your performing foot, Ellie. Yes, yes. Well done, Dan. Yes. Okay, and hold it for 1 second. The youngsters did very, very well. They sacrificed power for accuracy. That's one of my favorite little phrases. You can't score unless you're between the sticks. Probably the one tactical correction that I do have to make. Give me the ball, please, Ellie. As you knock the ball in and get it back, you take a quick peek at the goal before you deliver the ball to the back of the net. Because you must ascertain where the goalkeeper is. If he's in the right position, more likely than not, you should be shooting at far post. If he's in the wrong position, you can sneak one by him on the near post. So you must make sure, youngsters, that you take a peek. You take a peek at the goal before you strike the ball. All right, let's do it again, Ellie. Come. And finish. Well done. Yes. Dribble, and then you pass. Well done, Danny. And finish. Just as with the shot, the ground stroke, we want to go to goal and become functional quite quickly. There's something exhilarating about tickling the back of the net or just putting it just where you want it on the back of the house or on the garage. And the youngsters initially are going to serve themselves and try to hit half volleys into the goal, and later on the server will serve some of these things so that they can react accordingly. Peter, go ahead. Yes, well done. And get the ball. And David, yes. Land on your performing foot. Yes, well done, Justin. Great picture. Yes, Peter. Well done. We're going to make it a little more difficult, a little more challenging for the youngsters. Up to now, they have served themselves. Right now, Sasha, come over here. Sasha is going to serve the ball. Now they must react to the bouncing ball. They're still going to try to drive half volleys into the net. Go ahead, guys. Yes, David. Well done. All right, next one, Justin. Okay. Come closer to the server, gentlemen. Yes, well hit, David. Oh, excellent, Justin. That was the best one yet. All right, next one, Peter. Good, David. Youngsters are still endeavoring to land on their performing foot. Land on the performing foot. They're sacrificing power for accuracy. And more often than not, they're being successful. Okay, in 1 second, please. One problem right here is that the youngsters are catching the ball on the high hop. Now in baseball, we tell youngsters to play the big hop. In soccer, you've got to play the short hop. They're so far back from the distributor that when the ball comes, it's a matter of shooting at this point. What you want to shoot in soccer, you want to shoot as the ball comes off the ground. And this is what the adjustment that you have to make. You got to get a little closer to the server, gentlemen, a little closer to the server, and get it on the short hop. Yes, play. Yes, Justin, well done. Yes, Peter, now we got it. Excellent. Great one. Magic. All right, next one, David. I like it, Justin. What we have here is a little shooting drill that the youngsters can do in the backyard without damaging the property of their parents. So what they're trying to do is hit the man in the middle. So we'll prepare it, they'll take a look, they knock it to the man in the middle. If he catches it, fine, he distributes it to the other side. If he doesn't catch it, that's all right also. And if it's in that area, the youngster knows that he hit a good strike on goal. So they're preparing rolling balls right now. After a while, maybe they can lift some balls for themselves, and try to hit half volleys. And what we're guaranteeing here, folks, is a lot of repetitions. A lot of repetitions. Skill training is a matter of doing it over and over and over again. To have 19 youngsters waiting while one shoots is not an economical use of time. So even in your practice sessions, coaches, you can do this as well. But the main thing is the youngsters can do this at home with a friend or two, and they're getting many, many repetitions. Question is often asked, when should he be able to start heading? Well, with most skills, you can start them immediately. And certainly, as we've indicated, dribbling and shooting are things that they want to do right off the bat. Passing perhaps a little later. With heading, it is sometimes a difficult question to answer. Mainly, the youngster will let you know. When a ball is coming at him, at her, and they allow it to rebound off their head, then they are ready. If they duck, they're not quite ready. Some will be ready at 6, others will be ready at 10. Some people are not inclined to propel the ball with their head even later on in their soccer playing career. But for the most part, if we can teach them once they're ready, if we can teach them correctly as to the surface and to the stance, then it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. We're talking about this surface here, from the bridge of the nose to the hairline. And I always feel that if you allow a youngster to do it himself or herself, then you are taking away the risk of fear. So if I just serve myself in this manner, I allow the ball to hit here, fine, right? Now if I'm not ready for that kind of impact, perhaps I throw it up high and now I do it. But what I want the youngster to be conscious of is that his whole upper trunk, the whole upper trunk is one unit. It's one unit. So you propel that upper trunk forward as one unit. You cannot do it with a wobbly neck. A good head ball starts from the small of the back, but the upper trunk needs a solid base on the bottom. So whether you stand in this manner and head the ball, what I call a square stance, or whether you put one foot in front of the other, which is one that I prefer, doesn't make much difference. But you want to be balanced and your knees are bent once again. That's the way we play soccer. We've mentioned it with other skills. If you're erect, it's very difficult. So what we're looking at is just something like this. Yes, it could be the other foot forward, or it could be with a square stance in this manner. Your eyes should be open and your mouth should be closed. It's a unique skill because there's no other sport in which you use your head to propel the ball both offensively and defensively. And this is what I want the youngsters to do right now. Just to lean back and propel the ball to their partner. Yes? Go ahead, guys. Okay, guys, and hold. One of the shortcomings for some of the youngsters here is the fact that they are too erect, a point I made previously. You must bend, right? That way you're able to bring your body back. And now, Danny, be ready. You're able to propel the ball forward. You must lean back in order to do things correctly. You cannot start erect and now try to head the ball. You must lean back and now smack it as you become erect. So here, there, right? And you should take pride, all of you should take pride in putting that ball right into your partner's hands. Not at his feet and not at his head, but right into his hands. All right, let's try it again. Yes, well done. Good. It's looking good, guys. Once the youngster has the confidence that this contact with the ball does not hurt, because he has propelled the ball toward himself, now someone else can throw the ball and they can head it back. Sash? Yes, well done. Notice how his body is like a C and he springs forward. Yes, good balanced stance. And there. Okay, youngsters, you have the picture, right? And head. Good. Put the serves high. Well done. Right back to the partner. Good. And reverse the roles. Well done, Peter. By and large, the youngsters did it very well. Every once in a while, little flaws come into the program. You don't want to turn your shoulder. And that's not to say if the ball is coming at you at speed that you can't head over your shoulder. But if you've got to provide the power yourself, it's better to square up to the ball and then hit it. It's better to square up and now we hit it, yes, rather than over the shoulder. Right? As you do it, guys, remember that. It's straight on rather than over the shoulder. One more time, play. Yes, straight on, and their line dries after they hit you. Yes, well done, Justin. Good, Danny. That's it, Ellie. Good, and hold. The next activity might be just to head the ball one touch back and forth. Now, this is not so much for power, but it is for accuracy. You must hit the ball straight on rather than on one of your horns in order to maintain control. Ready, Sash? Okay, gentlemen, one touch, back and forth. Good, and start over. No problem if it falls. Well done, Justin and Amin. Yes. Good, and hold for a second. One of the problems that youngsters have, and all beginning players have, is that when they're trying to technically execute, they don't get their body into the right shape. So if the ball comes to your left, you have to get there in order to head the ball back. You can't be reaching and attempt to get the ball back. So it's always a matter of squaring up toward your target and then making the play. And the same thing holds true when you're passing or when you're shooting. You try to square up as often as possible. And especially it's very necessary here when you're heading that you get behind the flight of the ball and this way rather than to try to nick it over with the outside of the head. So let's try it again. Be sure that you get behind the ball, please. Yes, well done, Danny and David. A logical step in our progression would be what I call two-touch heading. You control it on the first touch, and now you must provide the power on the second touch. That's very difficult for the youngsters. They will give us a modified version. Sasha and I will try to do it continuous. Okay, good enough. What the youngsters now will do, one player will serve and the other one will control and then head back. Yes? Become dynamic on that second touch. Become dynamic. The correction that we have to make is that the youngsters are really using two control touches more often than not. On the first one you control, on the second one you must provide power now. So you've got to flex your head back, huh? Flex your body back, and then come forward. Serve one, Danny, for me, please. So it's here, and now become dynamic. Once again, here, and now get forward. So that their line drives going to your partner. This is the key. All right, try it again, guys. Square up to the ball, Danny. The teaching of skills, we should quite quickly get from the stationary to the moving, and that holds true for heading as well. So I will serve Sasho while he's moving forward, and he will head the ball to me. Yes, and again, and now Sasho will serve me. As I'm moving forward, yes, a little higher, yes, I attack the ball, and boom. All right. Yes, the next step would be to move backward, right? Because sometimes we are forced to retreat, but then we can't head the ball while we are retreating. We must head the ball, we must attack the ball, we must come back. Yes, Sasho, here, yes, yes, and back, and head. Well done. Yes, good. And Sasho, on the last one, you already saw him jumping. And for the youngsters, that's very difficult. But as you go up the ladder in your soccer career, the next step would be to jump. So moving forward, moving backward, Sasho, yes, and up, and head, yes, well done, and well done. Good. We could do the same thing going backwards, and we also want to move laterally. Sasho, over here, so there, yes, there, good. And up in the air, Sash, yes, well done, and well done. All right. Very good demonstration by Sasho as he's moving laterally. Initially, he was on the ground, and then afterwards, he also propelled himself in the air and then performed the skill quite well. So for the youngsters, stationary in a relaxed manner, but later on with movement, forward, backward, and also laterally. Certainly the most appealing skills to youngsters starting this game of soccer are to dribble and to shoot. That's the natural thing. And consequently, when you see youngsters playing the game, they're drawn around the ball like it is a magnet. So quite often, the under-8 game looks like a chicken coop at feeding time. All the youngsters are around the ball. But quite quickly, some will figure out that the ball travels faster than any of them can. So we must get to passing as well. So after the youngsters are happy with their dribbling and their shooting, we also go into passing. When we talk about passing, there are three main passes. Sometimes they're referred to as the ABC passes. And the first one we want to talk about is simply the inside the foot pass. There's a lot of little things that the kids and the coaches should remember about this pass. Your performing foot is obviously going to strike the ball with the middle of your foot through the middle of the ball in this manner. The way you approach the ball might seem a little unnatural because it is really at a perpendicular fashion. But this is what you have to do, and it's facilitated. It's facilitated if you bend your knees, and we've mentioned that time and time again. A soccer player must do that. Your non-performing foot is right next to the ball. Your non-performing foot is next to the ball, and your body is over. So this is the way we control the ball, and we strike it. Control the ball, and we strike it. Yes. The second pass of our ABC configuration is an outside the foot pass. Now, it's a little more deceptive, it's a little more natural. As you're dribbling and you have a partner at about a 45-degree angle, you use the outside of the foot, And the area we're talking about, roughly, is the middle of the laces to the outside. There's a short swing below the knee, and you further the ball in that direction. So control there and play there. The third pass is the instep pass. And this is probably a little more for the individuals who are more advanced in the game, and we won't touch upon this to any great extent. So the inside the foot pass is done in this manner. Quite quickly, what we want to do here is to do it one touch. Be able to transfer the ball directly directly to our partner. Quickly, we move into the ball, and we transfer in this manner. Control it with the right, play it with the right. Whichever foot you control it with, play it with that foot, please. Yes, and play. Go toward the ball, please. Go toward the ball and play. Back up a little bit. Yes, go to it, play. All right, it's looking good. Now, if you control it right, play it left. If you control it left, play it right. Yes, front of you and looking good. Come, play. Crisp passes. Don't be reaching. Your support foot is next to the ball. Support foot next to the ball, please. There we go. All right, looking good. Let's try it direct. All right, sacrifice power for accuracy and play direct. A right one and a left one. A right, next one is left. Do a 360 and play. The ball moves at all times. Yes, yes, and good, Peter. That's it. Support foot next to the ball, please. And let's get you into threes. Yes, play. David. Yes, control and play. Control and play. Take a look up before you pass. Control, take a look, play. Yes, good, and play. Control and play. Control and play. 2 touches all you need. Good, well done, Pete. Come, Amin. Good, now when you receive the ball, do a 360 and then pass the ball. Everything else is the same. Do a 360, yes, and play. Do a 360 and play. Yes, well done. 360 and play. Don't wait for the ball, gentlemen. Take a peek before you pass. That's it. Good, David. The enjoyment in the game of soccer is primarily with the ball. And this is why in this training film we have dwelled upon a youngster's identification with that ball, and dribbling and controlling the ball and shooting. There's another side, it's called defense. But this is something that can be dealt with later on. It requires some intelligence, it requires discipline, it requires intensity. But it is much easier than the play with the ball. There is, however, one position on the soccer field that requires some special attention, even at the under-8 level, and that is goalkeeping. So the youth coaches must be very well aware that this position has some special requirements. He must deal with this youngster before practice, the regular practice, during that practice, and after that practice. Otherwise, this youngster is not going to be well prepared to deal with this function. And this is what we want to do right now. I mean, first thing that we're concerned about is a rolling ball straight at. Right? So rolling ball straight at the goalkeeper, you scoop it up with both hands, you have both feet behind it, you do a little bit of a jump step afterwards in order to regain your balance. If the ball is to the side, we try to get behind it, do our little step, and then we scoop it up. To the other side, yes, we quickly get behind it, we scoop it up, and we take a little bit of a step. There is an alternative way of dealing with the ball. Roll it to me again. You can come back, come down in this manner. You have double security here, so the ball does not get through. You scoop it up and do it in this manner. You can also do it to your right or left. Let's start over there. You get there quickly, and you scoop the ball up, and yes, and it's with the opposite foot that you secure and make sure that the ball does not go through. If a ball comes at you medium height, yes, I mean, if it comes above waist level, you grab the ball in this manner. It's a W in the back. Unlike a basketball, which you catch in this manner, a soccer ball, because of the velocity behind it, you must grab it in this manner. And then you bring it in. Yes, one more time. You catch the ball and you bring it in, and then you relinquish it. If the ball comes beneath waist high, yes, Right? You scoop it up in this manner, take that little forward step again, and secure it to your chest, and you're ready to deliver the ball. If that same ball goes to the side, yes, just in this manner, you catch the ball, yes. Down here, you catch the ball, yes. Down here, you catch that ball, and then you relinquish it. Goalkeeper also has to deal with high balls. If the ball comes straight up, yes, we try to catch it at the highest point for balance, and also for more elevation, it's a one-footed takeoff. And then you bring the ball in here, and then you relinquish it. If the ball goes to your right or left, similar, yes, similar attention is given to the ball. If you go to your left, it's your right leg that protects you here, that protects you, gives us your balance, you bring the ball in. As we go to the other side, yes, it's your in-bounce leg, if you like, the one that's to the playing field, that protects you, you bring the ball here, and then you deal with it there. So basically, these are the three balls that a young goalkeeper or any goalkeeper has to deal with. More difficult art of diving, I think perhaps you can start a youngster on this at an early age. You sit him down, and you roll balls, yes, to his left, and show him how, or show her how, to catch that ball. The leg here, the top leg comes here for balance. You're really dealing with three hands. There's one hand on top of the ball, one behind, and the ground here is the third hand, so that you have this secured. Yes, and to the other side, good. This kind of a situation, there, and there, and there. The next step, logically, but we don't want to rush it, would be to put this youngster into a kneeling position. Now, he might not be ready at 6. I don't think he's ready at 6. He might not be ready at 8. You feel him out, and then you will find out when this individual is ready for this kind of attention. But what it would look like, I mean, there. So now, in a falling manner, we do that. And over here, yes, catch the ball there. And notice the impact, yes, again, the impact is first with the ball, and then it's with the forearm, and then it's down the side. What youngsters want to do is they want to dive like this. That's a swimming pool dive. It is to the side here. This is the manner. Impact, ball, forearm, then the side of the body. This is what we're looking at. I want to give you an example here of an economical type of warm-up, something that makes sense for youngsters because the ball is involved, because it is fun. It does enhance their coordination and their ball skills simultaneously as they are getting ready physically to play a game, enhancing themselves technically, and they have to think a little bit, so I guess there's some tactical benefits here as well. Okay, gents, dribble, please. We would do most of these activities for about 30 seconds. We're doing a little less for our purposes here, but 30 seconds, then you move on to another activity. You try to do one activity of more intensity, followed by one of less. So you're raising the pulse, and then you're lowering the pulse. And slowly they're getting ready. So what we showed you here is an economical way of warming up soccer players. We get them ready physically while they're touching the ball, so there's some technical enhancement. We also make them think, so there's some tactical benefits. This is the way you should get ready, not by running laps and not by running stairs, with the ball in a fun type of an environment.
We've been discussing some of the do's and don'ts and the pitfalls for parents that they might experience when they're watching their child perform in a youth sport. Judy, what are some of the kinds of things that you've noticed as a parent?
Well, one of the things I had to do was take a look at my own self along the sidelines when my children were performing. And I also paid attention to the other parents and became very aware of some of these dynamics that distract or help the children when they perform.
Some of the don'ts that you might pay attention to are, don't relive your childhood through your child. Don't push the child. You want them to perform well and you do want to show support, but you don't want to push them because it just makes them doubt their own ability and it undermines their self-confidence. Don't expect perfection in your child. They are doing the best that they can at the time, and it's very important for you to realize that. Don't, as a parent, blame other coaches or other players for poor performances, because that gets into a pattern of non-accountability. And the last thing, and the most important, is don't tie your ego or your self-worth to your child's performance.
Some of the do's for you parents are, be sensitive to your child and his wants and desires. If he or she does not want to play a sport, they shouldn't have to. If they do, create the opportunities, provide the open doors, be an assistance to them to find out which sport will work for them. Then support the team concept. Help your child understand what it is to be a team member as opposed to being the hero. Give respect to the coach. It is important for the child to respect the coach's opinion and expertise and to listen. Help the child learn from his or her mistakes. It's okay if they make mistakes. They need to learn from them. And through that, you can assist them to become accountable for their performance. If they do well or they don't do well, help them to be accountable for what they did or did not do as a team member.
A very important thing for a youngster is the type of support that he gets from his coach and from his parents. Now, a youth coach is a multifaceted individual. He or she must not only be a surrogate parent, they must sometimes be cheerleaders, sometimes they must be an amateur psychologist, sometimes they must even be a disciplinarian. And in order to do this correctly, the youth coach needs a lot of support, right kind of support from the parents. I feel the coach should take the initiative at the beginning of the season to call a meeting in a social setting, not in a setting where the coach pontificates to the parents, but in a setting where the coach can indicate his thoughts about why youth sports are played, why he is involved in this particular game, and what the parents can do in order to do that. I think the overriding idea here is that when kids play sports, it is their time to have fun, to recreate. It is not their time to perform. The youngster is out there to do the best he can, the best she can, and it's not a matter of scoring that many goals or getting that many hits. And the youth coach needs a lot of positive parent support. He also has to set the example. He should not be inclined to attempt to coach every roll of the ball. He should not be inclined to holler instruction in there after the fact. He should not be inclined to be negative. He's constantly an assessor. He watches his team as to what they do correctly, what they do less well, so that he knows, that she knows what they're going to do at next Tuesday's practice or at next Thursday's practice in order to help the youngsters in their further development of the game. He's got to set a very positive example, and then I think the parents will follow. The key is always for the youngsters to have fun. There is a time later on when it becomes a competitive situation. It might be a situation where you stress winning more. Right now, winning is incidental. The most enjoyment that the enjoyment a coach should get out of a team is to further develop his players. It should not be a matter of W's and L's, not a matter of wins and losses, but at the end of the year, a coach can sit down, look at his youngsters and say, yes, they're better passers, they're better shooters, they control the ball better, and they've had a lot of fun while they were learning these things. And the won and lost record is really immaterial. So the coach cannot perform this without the parental agreement, without the parental support. So it sort of goes hand in hand, the coach, the parents and coach, in order for the kids to have the positive experience that the sport is able to give them.